Good day, professionals, and welcome to Case Study Practical Class. Yes, a lot has already been discussed with us when it comes to case study. But the fact that I want us to know is that case study encompasses three basic things. The first one is, what are the facts? Know the facts. Having know the facts, translate it. Having translate the fact, then you report based on the report given. Today, we'll be looking at the practical case study. For the course of our class, well, our content has actually been divided into introduction to case study, but not an introduction per se. It should just be introduction to practical case study. Then the cover page. I'll be discussing on the executive summary and the introduction aspect, as well as the business analysis, how to identify the model that is required to be used in the case and connecting the model to the case. Then I'll also be discussing on the various models such as SWOT, PESTEL, Porter's Diamond, value chain analysis, and the rest. I will also be discussing on the financial statement analysis, which includes the ratio analysis and the trend analysis and the financial data analysis, which are investment appraisal and the decision making. Okay. But before we do that, before we continue with our standardized format, how do we write reports? A lot of students only receive lectures on case studies and stuff everything in their head, thinking that miracle might happen. Whereas case study is not something you can cram. It's not what you are expected to cram or believe that when you get to everything we just download from that. Yes, it is easily said and done. You are expected to write reports or practice this thing with your hand by yourself and not solely relying on a ready-made answer. Unlike now that you have the questions, even if the answer is provided and you did not write a practical case with your hand, my dear, you are gambling with your career. Case study requires a constant practice. Your being in the examination hall should not be your first day of writing reports. No. You should have write series of reports before you enter into that examination hall. Because if you do not practice report writing before exam, don't expect a miracle from anywhere. You cannot be writing reports for the first time in the examination hall and expect to do very well, except for God's grace. Yeah, except miracle happens, but not in all situations. You can't just dash ICAN money. Even those that prepare day and night might still be finding it difficult, not to talk of someone that will now decide to freestyle on the examination day. Well, it is my usual recommendation for students to always practice at least 3 report writing before examination. And that way, you'll be able to assess yourself better on what you are capable of doing on the average. The basic things that we need to know in a case study question is that every case study requires us to come up with an output. And this output is called report. In writing this report, a lot of factors have to be put in place. And that is what will lead me to the discussion of the various types of report that we have, which is internal report and external report. But what is report in itself? A report provides information that will facilitate the strategic, tactical, and operational analysis that will enable the management to make informed strategic and operational decisions regarding the company's processes and operations. And the basic aim of the report is to provide information to permit the management to make a quick and timely decisions. And this report like I said, is divided into internal report and external report. When we say internal report is the report within the organization in which individual analyst works. If you are to analyze or to write a report on the company you are working for, that one is an internal report. And this internal report usually comes from the one from your bosses, the one from your orgas, the one from those persons at the top. Yes, that is why they are your boss. Aside from internal, we also have external reports. When we say external reports, it's a report that has already, it's a report that comes as a result of issue from an external. It is written to an individual outside organization, and it is used to address an external parties. But how do we actually recognize this? How do we recognize internal and external? And how do we schedule our information? How do we schedule our report? How do we tailor our report to a suitable one required? If it is an internal report, it may actually come in forms of memo. It can come in form of everything. Just let us know that for the internal, the client has decided to use an internal resources, that is his own personnel or staff, to examine a situation and report back to them. And the client does not want to involve any external consultant or advisor. So you just need to determine the case and don't mistakenly write an internal report when you are expected to write external reports. Is that taken? For the external reports, it is when it involves the consultant's firm or an advisor that is responding to the request from a client on a particular subject matter. And under the external report structure, the consultant will be contacted by the third party, which are usually the client, and they will be seeking advice on a course of action or the challenges or issues that require some professional advices. And this external report is the most common types of report and has been tested so far by ICAN. Note that under this report, students will be given a name that is different from your own name. And you will also be given a place that you are working for. Your position in that organization will also be stated, like qualified trainee, partly qualified accountant, audit senior, finance assistant, finance manager, as the case may be. Let me tell you at this point that you are expected to forget your biological name when writing a case study report. Forget your name. ICAN has given you a name to use. That is what you are using. Even during your closure, you must not put your biological name. You are to use the name that have already been given by ICAN in that case. And the name you are using is the name given to you in the case. Unfortunately, students make the mistake of writing their biological name at the end of the report during a closure. But please avoid that. Do not make that mistake. You are not expected to write your biological name. Okay? But how does this report look like? How does this external report structured? Well, we all know that it is a 4-hour course. It's a 4-hour report. And during the introduction, we've actually discussed that. But the basic thing that I would like to point out is what we call exhibits when it comes to a report writing. When it comes to a case, when it comes to a case study, there's what we call exhibits. You see, this exhibit contains all the information you will need to work with. And each exhibit contains peculiar information that you need to read. That is why we call it exhibit. Permit me to actually break down this exhibit so that we could understand the exhibit and we would know where and how to actually get any information required. Okay?
Don't worry, Pete. I got you covered. Potato chips, pretzels, cheese, rhubarb, kiwis, I got some.
You are expected to know at least 5 ratios under each of the categories of ratio. Is that taken? All right. Each categories of ratio includes profitability ratio, liquidity ratio, short-term solvency, long-term solvency, then investors ratios. At least you are expected to know 3 ratios under each of the ratios. Okay. All right. Having said that, when you know 3 ratios, all these ratios will be used to analyze your report. And immediately after that, the next thing that also draw attention is your financial data
analysis.
And I on it.
When we say financial data analysis, we mean any of the business analysis, any of the business data analysis, which includes the business valuation method. Either the business is into merger and acquisition, or they want to use cash flow statement, or it is a project appraisal method. They might ask you to use NPV, cash flow, and the rest. At times, it might even be a cost evaluation method. At times, it will be the calculation of total manufacturing cost for a product. So we have to recognize the data analysis to use. After data analysis, now comes your business model. And for the business model actually includes all those models that you have during your corporate strategies management and ethics, which include SWOT, PESTEL, benchmarking, value chain, Porter's 5 forces, BCG, and the rest. Minimum and awaiting professionals is expected to know at least 5 models. When I say at least 5 models, at least try as much as possible to know 5 models. Like PESTEL and SWOT should be an advantage. You are expected to know PESTEL and SWOT. Then add value chain to it. Add at least benchmarking, Porter's 5 forces, life cycle, and every other one. And when you want to analyze your business analysis, you are expected to give a definitions, then a brief understanding of that business model. Aside from that, the one that follows is your business ethics or your CSR issues. And that one, it is for you to identify the risks or the CSR issues that is involved in the case. Is that taken? And every other observation that you might note while you are writing your case. All these are what are essentials in your report writing. Then you have to do your conclusion. Your conclusion should be, after writing everything, you now write your conclusion. Your conclusion should end with your any recommendation that you've identified in the case. Having done that, you put up a recommendation. You cannot just be writing without recommendation and without conclusion. You have to write to conclusion. And after writing to conclusion, then you will do your closure. Your closure is yours faithfully or sincerely yours. Either yours faithfully or sincerely yours. Then you sign, write your name, then you put your designation. Designation is your title or your role. Then you put your, what do they call you? Your company that you are working for. That is how to do your closure. And for your appendix is, if they give you SWOT analysis, you will draw SWOT analysis. If there's every other calculation, under your appendix is when you will do the calculation of your financial ratio, then business model, if there's any. That is where you are going to observe all those things. then it is important for us to number your answer booklet appropriately. Number it page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, like that, like that, like that, until the last page. The one you are not using, please just write PTO. Don't bother yourself, just write PTO, PTO, PTO. And as at the end of the day, you will cross them out. This is what I mean. Let's assume this is my answer booklet. If this is my answer booklet, just write page 1 from the first page, go to the next page, go to the next page, you write page 2, go to the next page, you write, when you go to the next page,
we go. So let's demonstrate all these case study formats using a practical case. Today, I've actually chosen May 2017 diet questions to illustrate all what we've been discussing. I hope you all have the May 2017 diet question. Hello? Do you all have the May 2017 diet question?
We don't have the, I don't have it.
Can you quickly download? Or I should send?
Yeah, you can send it, sir.
That we should be very much okay in case writing. Then, if time permits, we will also look at last diet question. And for that last diet question, case study. Yes, you can check the group.
Okay, sir. We'll do that now. Thank you.
All right. So download and let's go to page. Let's go to page, last page, which is the case study. Okay. Page 139. Please pay a close attention to this case, and it will give you an insight to how report is being written. Then, if you follow the procedure, I guarantee you that your success is there for you. Just ensure that you practice question as said earlier. Don't let your examination day to be the first day that you'll be writing reports. You have to practice questions. Is that taken? So, by practicing the questions, you already have an edge. Then, after this, use the same format for any question, you are fine. All right. You can see ICAN May 2017. Instruction, you are to use the case study booklet to answer all this paper. Then you have JAGA JAGA Technologies PLC. That is the name of the company. Requirement, pay attention, please. Pay attention, please. If you are not with pen, go and pick your pen up now. If you are not with calculator, please, you and your calculator, I need you now. And your writing material. Is that taken? The requirement says you are Tijani Obu, who has recently been promoted to Assistant Finance Manager at JAGA JAGA Technology PLC. JJT, known as JAGA JAGA Technology PLC, is a Nigerian multinational technology company headquartered in Victoria Island, Lagos. JJT develops, designs, and sells consumer electronics, with its main product being smartphone, personal computer, and smart TVs. You are working with Chike Barama, the CFO of JJT, on a very important report with tight reporting deadline, and have been requested to draft reports to shareholders briefing based on the email in Exhibit 1 from what? Chike Barama. I think you are not seeing the exhibit that I discussed earlier. That is the main reason for starting with that exhibit, so that you could understand how each exhibit comes into place. The following overall time allocation is suggested. They gave you reading 1 hour. My dear, you can reduce everything, but do not rush. All right. I've had a complaint from some centers where they said in the next 1 hour, do not try it because it is meant for your planning. Tell them you are planning, you are not writing. Shebi, what is there is reading. Yeah, part of my reading is that I must plan my work. So I'm reading and planning. But don't just pick your pen and just be writing. I will tell you those points that you need to grab while you are writing. There are some points, as you collect your answer booklet, there are some points that you can just grab. That one is freely. But before you can assume it is free for you, you also have to go through the question first. Now let's go to the exhibit 1. You can see list of exhibits as given to you like a table of contents. Exhibit 1 to 6. Exhibit 1 was exhibit we are having is description. Exhibit 1 said email from Chike Barama, the CFO of JJT, to you, Tijani Obu. Remember that I said, okay, before that, I'll continue. Exhibit 2 is an email from Dele Shinkafi, the COO of JJT, to Chike Barama. The exhibit 3 is a meeting note by Chike Barama. And exhibit 4 is a current year draft financial statement of JJT for the year ended 30th of June. Is that taken? And your exhibit 5 is undoubtedly the accounting policies of JJT. The accounting policies and some selected notes to financial statements. Why your exhibit 6 is a financial data on JJT. Now, if you look at the exhibit 1 said email from Chike Barama to you, Tijani Obu. Remember that I said you have to forget your biological name. And they called you, they said you are Tijani Obu. Please forget your name. In this case, I'm not my name again. Forget your biological name. You are now who? You are now Tijani Obu. Okay? You are now Tijani Obu. That is your name. And your role is now Assistant Finance Manager. It's now Assistant Finance Manager. Your company is now JJT, JAGA JAGA Technologies PLC. That is where you are working now until after your ICAN examination. Please, what they called you is what you are bearing at this moment for the purpose of the case. Is that taken? So now, we've read the exhibit, I would have loved to ask a question that, what types of report is this? Just look at the exhibit. Who is writing you? Even the list of exhibits has already stated it. That email from Chike Barama, the CFO of JJT, and you are the finance, you are the assistant finance manager of JJT. So which means the person that has written you is your boss. That person also received email which contain the exhibit 2 from Dele Shinkafa. Dele Shinkafa is also COO of JJT. And you have a meeting note by Chike Barama. Now go to exhibit 1. I hope you are following. Exhibit 1 contains an email from Chike Barama to you, Tijani Ogu. I told you earlier that your exhibit will contain an email from your boss, or it might be from the client. This one is an internal report. The subject of the email received is JAGA JAGA Technology PLC and you have smartphone fire incidents. As you can see, kindly review 8 October 2016 is given. Somebody was asking me that which date are we writing on the examination day? And I said, the answer cannot be far-fetched. What date are you writing the report? Is it not the date of your examination? My dear awaiting ACA, it is the day of your examination that you should put under your date. Is that taking? On that date, put the date of your examination. That day, is what you should put. Don't mind the date that I receive an email. It is possible for me to receive email last year, and I will just be replying it now. Forget the organization ethics. This is real life situation. The email received said, kindly review the attached document, exhibit 3 to 5. It's redirecting you. An email from Dele, the COO, which can be found in exhibit 2. Prepare a report for our meeting today. You can see, they said prepare a report for our meeting today. Is it the report you want to prepare today? You now put date of last year, or you put date of 3 months ago? Professionals, use the current date, the day you are writing the exam, I repeat. Can they address the issue I have highlighted, and let us discuss your draft report? You can see, he gave you assignment, and he says, submit the assignment back to me, and let us discuss before I take it to the meeting. That is one of the qualities that qualify the report as an internal report. Are we noting it? I'm taking my time on this case because after this, okay, we might have time to review last year question. After that last year question, the next one will be reviewing. The next case will be the preceding case from that of ICAN. I continue. As a bit of background and further to what was discussed in our meeting this morning, some unit of our flagship smartphone, JPhone 7, has caught fire, and some class of customers who have purchased this, affected unit also caught fire. Another report received a few minutes ago asking that a house has caught fire due to the malfunctioning of our phone JPhone 7. This is a major disappointment to us, as this was supposed to be the phone that will clean sheet for our company as the leading smartphone company in sub-Saharan Africa. And this would have been a superb achievement, considering that we have only been around for just under 20 years. At this time, we are staring at potential losses. You can see, we are staring at potential losses. It's even proposing that they are now foreseeing losses, damage to reputation, and lawsuit running into millions of nairas. Go to Exhibit 6, you will see what he's saying, the confirmation. That's what he puts in next. To put it simply, this is the most difficult challenges this company has ever faced since incorporation in 1997. Oh, they even put the date of incorporation, 1997. I can tell you as a matter of fact, I haven't been around JJT long enough that head will rose. that is, people will be sacked. I have had a brief phone conversation with the chief internal auditor this morning, and he informed me that the IT department has retrieved a report from the missing laptop of one of his former staff. Basically, the draft internal audit report states that some of the storage location for our phone batteries have temperature level higher than allowed by the regulators. If I start asking you to be identifying the challenges, I hope you are thinking the way I'm also thinking at this moment. I'm still reading the case for the first time. This report was never issued as the laptop went missing and the affected staff has been dismissed. The IT department has just recovered the report and all the related documents or reports from this laptop. At this time, it is too early to know the causes of this malfunctioning phone. However, this is being investigated. We do not know exactly if this battery were the cause of this fire incident or explosion, but this discovery by the IT department raises immediate concerns, and we do not know more at this time. I have been in several meetings over the past few days, trying to understand all that has been taking place regarding the JPhone 7. A few meeting notes has been scribbled for reference. Exhibit 3, you will see it. The COO, Chief Operating Officer, is expecting us to assess the business and financial impact. Are you seeing it? COO is expecting us to assess. Your requirement has started though. It's expecting us to assess the business and financial impact as much as possible, and report this in a timely manner. This is also important as the external auditor are looking forward to the completion of the company 2016 financial statement audit in a fortnight. The board meeting is scheduled to hold at the end of the month to approve the 2016 financial statement. Regards, Chike Barama, Chief Financial Officer, JAGA JAGA Technology PLC. You are required, my waiting chartered accountant, that using the attached information, draft a report for shareholder briefing to who? Chike Barama, the CFO of JAGA JAGA Technology PLC. And your report should comprise an analysis of JJT value chain using Porter's value chain model and the 3 key risks JJT is facing, and advise the company on risk management techniques it will employ. In conducting your risk analysis, your report should concentrate on the key risks and issues identified in the case and should provide a clear explanatory commentary together with your judgment and conclusion on the key risks which you identified, and advise the management of JJT PLC on the financial reporting implications of the key events and issues identified in the scenario. Show your workings where relevant to support your answer. Are we there? Can we start? All right. If that is the requirement, from this requirement, you can actually grab your point. Okay? Are we together? If you can hear me, you can just type yes. All right. Exhibit 2. Exhibit 2 have it that a mail from Dele Shinkafa, the Chief Operating Officer, to Chike Barama, the Chief CFO, and the subject is JAGA JAGA PLC smartphone fire incident. And in it, he have or what he has. Kindly go through the case and read after today for better understanding. Is that taken? If you go to the exhibit 4, we are given the income statement as noted. If you go to under it, you have statement of profit or loss. You have statement of financial position. You have the principal accounting policy, which includes the basis, preparation, foreign currency, loan receivable, inventory. You have to read all this. Inventory, which principally comprises smartphone, personal computer, and televisions, are stated at the lower of cost or net realizable value. You have to read everything. Then you are given the schedule note. Look at the note. You have your cost, amortization and impairment, goodwill, computer software, development cost. You have your tax, you have everything. Then you are given exhibit 6. It's giving you financial data. Remember what I said about list of exhibits? Do you still remember? Remember what I said about list of exhibits? That's your exhibit 6 and co will be relevant information. Exhibit 5 will be contains the industry information. So let's go back to JAGA JAGA technology. So since you have already been given analysis of production and sales, you have to use it for whatever this thing you have to know. Oh, now, let's solve. The first and foremost is a what? Go back to the format given to you. The first and foremost, oh my God, I haven't put it there. The first and foremost is the cover page. Go to the cover page. How do you prepare the cover page? You can see from the format given to you, I have the cover page or the cover letter. Okay. For the purpose of this May 2017, you can further schedule your report as follows. You can have your cover page. After your cover page, don't worry, under your cover page, you will have your disclaimer. Please don't number it 1, 2, 3. You must not number your headings. Then you will now have your table of contents. It is allowed. I will show you how we do it practically. As you can see from your screen. So in doing your, I will show you where that table of contents will actually comes into being. Let's quickly go to the main work. But you can actually have under a table of contents, you will have your, don't write your table of content to just have your introduction. After introduction, discuss about your methodology. That is the format that has already been given to you. Then you have your solution to requirement 1. Solution to requirement 1. Remember, go back to that case. You will see that you are having 2 requirements. Did I bring it here? You are having 2 requirements. Oh, I didn't bring it here. You are having 2 requirements from the case. The requirement is in exhibit 1. Can you see required? You can see requirement 1 and requirement 2. Your requirement 1 is your report should contain an analysis of JJT value chain. Requirement 2 is advise the management of JJT on the financial reporting implication. That is your requirement 2. So that's why I have solution to requirement 1. And under the solution to requirement 1, you will do your financial analysis. You will do your review of significant accounting policies. You will do your financial statement analysis. You will do your valuation. You will do your limitation. You will do your ethical consideration. You will do your conclusion and recommendations. Is that taken? I hope you can hear me. All right. Okay, let's hit the bull on the head. The first one is your cover page. Your cover page looks like this. Your cover page, do not write cover page as heading. It is JAGA JAGA Technology PLC, everything centered. Just like your book cover. JAGA JAGA Technology PLC, JJT. You must put JJT. Report to, you can see that I put report, then to, in next line, column, Chike Barama, Chief Financial Officer, JAGA JAGA Technologies PLC. Then title, a report on business and financial impact on shareholders briefing, JAGA JAGA Technology PLC. And your title might be Smartphone J7 Fire Incident. Is that taken? But why I didn't use that is because my requirement actually asks me to prepare a report for the shareholder briefing. And that is where you have to pick any of your reports. That's why I said report on business and financial impact for shareholder briefing. A report on the business and financial impact on JJT, JAGA JAGA PLC, J-Phone 7. J-Phone 7. For shareholders briefing, JAGA JAGA Technology PLC, or for shareholder briefing, as you may like. Okay. When I was checking my requirements, that is where you're gonna find everything. All this is what you can see. Then by who prepared the report? You, Tijani Obu, Assistant Finance Manager. I hope you are following. Who prepared the report? You, Tijani Obu. I didn't put you by Tijani Obu, comma, Assistant Finance Manager. Date, I'm using today's date, 6th March 2021. Use the date of your examination. Then disclaimer. You must write disclaimer as this. Just as I've designed my front page, please design your front page like that. You are fine. Okay. Design your front page cover. Design your cover note as I've done it like this, your cover page. Disclaimer, this report is prepared for the shareholders briefing of JAGA JAGA PLC and their intended use. We will not accept any liabilities from third parties who may rely on this content of this report without due authorizations. That is how to write disclaimer. Please go and master this disclaimer. Everything that I've given you, just master it. Relate it to any case, you are fine. You are doing well. All right. From there, the next on the format is our introduction. You know, we've done the cover page, obviously. We're through with the disclaimer. Executive summary is the first one. In your note, just leave page 1 to 3. You know, this one will be your front page. This one is page 1. This is your page 1. Executive summary, leave it first so that you can take your bonuses. This will be page 2 to 4. So you leave page 2 to 4 for executive summary. Introduction for page 5. Is that taken? This is how to write reports. Let's assume I will have my page 1 here. You can write it here if you like. I can write it at the down lower left hand corner, and it might be at the right hand corner. That is my page 1. This is my page 2. But please, I love having it at the center so that everybody can see it. You can see it clearly. Is that taking? So we have introduction. Yes. In major reports, you would have been seeing secret to the email received from JAGA JAGA PLC. Secrets to the email received from Chike Barama, where I am requested to draft a comprehensive report on the evaluation of so and so. Please, gone are the days. I said gone are the what? Are the days. Face the reality. Forget about all those things. Your introduction should be, this report aims at analyzing the financial performance. You can see everything in your, requirements. This report aims at analyzing the financial performance, operational and strategic business analysis, as well as look at it is in your exhibit 1. You are required. That's why I'm picking it. Okay. As well as evaluating the financial implication of the key events and issues of JAGA JAGA Technologies PLC. The method of analysis, that one, you are the one adding it to the introduction, but still within the context. The method of analysis includes the trend analysis, comma, ratio analysis, comma, common size, comma, other ratios such as ROCE, return on capital employed, gross profit margin, operating profit margin, asset turnover. Let me add, comma, asset turnover. Then etc. If you like, can put shareholders ratios, etc. Now this will be now with the column. Then report outlines. This is how to do your introduction. You will then outline your report. So your report outlined will be cover page. You just use a bulletin. Use a bulletin. Don't write 1, 2, 3. Do not number it. Use bulletin. Will be cover page, executive summary, introduction, financial analysis of JAGA JAGA Technologies PLC, findings and discussions, conclusions and recommendations, evaluations of the structural proposals or potential loss, where the company is having a where it is not. I can just say
As you are having for the first one, you will also have it for the
Evaluation
second
of
one.
the evaluation of
Start taking.
So as you have it for the requirement 1, you will also have it for the requirement 2. Let's assume if I want to do it for the requirement, if I want to do it for the requirement 2, I'll just say, having written evaluation and findings, this financial analysis of JAGA JAGA Technology PLC, this is the section 1. Is the section 1. Then under the evaluation of the business analysis, that is the what? Section 2. You agree with me that each of the section has its findings and discussion with conclusion and recommendation. Is that not? My dear, this is the complete way to write your case study report. And I promise you, following this, you have your mark. Not just a pass mark, you are flying on the sky. Okay? So having said that, what is the next thing based on our format? If you have any question, please feel free to ask. If you have any question, feel free to ask. So the next one is background information about JAGA JAGA Technology PLC. The background information of JAGA JAGA Technology PLC. Okay? To get that, go to the case. You will always see that in every cases that we are given. And that one usually contains at times it can be your exhibit 1, at times it can be your exhibit 2. Yes, exhibit 1, as a bit of background. No, this is not where they were given. Just check your exhibit, you will see where you are given. But here they give us under the requirement that JJT develops, designs, and sells consumer electronics, with its main product being smartphone, personal computers, and smart TV. And you are told that JAGA JAGA Technology PLC is a Nigerian multinational technology company which is headquarters in Victoria Island. That's also another information about the company. Then also, we were told. Hello. That place is noisy. Latif Taiwo. Latif Taiwo, unmute yourself and talk.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, I said it's some textbook.
Yes.
Yeah, the background. I'm talking about the background information. That's
Yes.
the opinion that we don't really need the background information. That is not necessary that the examiner is not something that the examiner will look at or something like that. I don't know. So I said let me clarify that. So, thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Let me clarify that. You see, background information is essential. It is necessary in our report, in the report writing, because you have to let them know the company that you are actually working with. And it is mainly required. It's just the information about that company. So it is very necessary. Such as when the company comments, must be there. If you are giving the shareholders too, it must be there. Though majority might have a diverse opinion, but from years of experiences and from the past students, and that they even blasted it 8%, has actually confirmed, and from the main source has actually confirmed that background information about the company is one of the essential tools for your case report. Let's take, for instance, if you have two companies in a case, and I'm actually working for Jaga Jaga, talking about the background information or the history of the company is just a way of familiarizing the examiner to the company that you are actually working with and the current situation that the company is facing at the moment. So please do prioritize when given.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
But under which heading do we have this background information?
The background information can be seen in all cases, usually in Exhibit 1, and at times it may be extended to that of the Exhibit 2. But obviously, it should be your Exhibit 1. But if you look at this case, it was given under the requirement. Look at the requirement here. It is JJT, is a Nigerian multinational technology. That is why you have to read the case to an end before you start working. But
sorry, sir. What I'm saying is this. I said the background information. Are we having it after
I didn't get the question. That place is noisy.
Yeah, what I'm saying is this. I mean, the background information, is it after or is it part of the introduction aspect?
Okay, yes, it's part of the introduction part.
Of the report writing.
Yes, it's part of the introduction part.
Yeah, it's part of the introduction part. Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello? Yes. Go back to if you look at the format that I actually give, you understand that I have cover page 1, executive summary 2, 3, introduction, 4, report outline, 5, background information. This is the background information is still under the introduction, but you will bring it down as though it's a subheadings. Is that taken? If this is my answer booklet, for instance, if this is my answer booklet, if my page 2, I would rather let my page 2 be this introduction and report outline. Then I will now start the background information under this thing, under my report, right, under this page 2. So that is your, what is it called? The information, the background information must be immediately after this report outline. After you write this report outline that you underline it, it should just be background information and you underline it. So which means if your answer booklet, if you are on page 5, it should be page 5. because you've lived this thing. If it is your page 5, under your page 5 is where you will also have this your background information, not a fresh page. Do not have it on a fresh page. Continue it under your report outline. Your report outline, oh, sorry, appendices is missing under your report outline here. It's ID. You have your appendices there. Immediately after this report outline, just have your background information. Call it background / history of then the company that you're analyzing, and underline it as though it is subheadings. Is that taken? Thank you. So let's go back to our JAGA JAGA. JAGA JAGA Technology PLC is a Nigerian multinational technology company headquartered in Victoria Island. This is in your case. You can see that it's a bonus. But what I did not add is the year. I didn't notice that they put the year there, but the year is there. Founded in something, I think in 2017. Chike Bahama said that in his exhibit 2. In exhibit 2, you can see, to put it simply, this is the most difficult challenges this company has faced since incorporation in 1997. So the company is incorporated in 1997, so you have to put it as part of the introduction part. So JAGA JAGA Technology PLC is a Nigerian multinational technology company with headquarters in Victoria Island. The company is incorporated in 1997. You can put it, JAGA JAGA Technology PLC is a Nigerian multinational technology company incorporated in 1997, with headquarter in Victoria Island, Lagos. If they give you director, you will continue. The JJT is currently being managed, or the board of directors of JJT includes Ade. The JJT board of directors includes Latif Taiwo, Oppo, and Ridwan. Are we together? The company is into the development, designing, and selling of consumer electronics, with the main product being smartphone, personal computer, and smart TVs. Then you will put it, see exhibit 1. Is it not under exhibit 1 that they put it? Also refer them back to that. Examiner will know that you know what you are doing. You are getting your mark. I hope we are together. After that, leave a line space. A line space. I leave a line space. If you leave a line space, continue. This report is based on the emails received from Chike Barama, the Chief Financial Officer, and Dele Shinkafi, the Chief Operating Officer, together with the meeting notes, current year draft financial statement for the year ended 31st of 2016. Everything they give you, you are giving them back. And selected note to the financial statement and financial data on J-Phone 7. You are through with the background information and history about the company. If you look at it, you will agree with me that at least a synopsis of the report has already been written. My dear, with this, you've already earned yourself some marks. You started with cover page, and your cover note is where tailored as given. You write your disclaimer, where tailored as given. You write your introduction, where tailored as given. You do your report outline, cover page, executive summary, introduction, financial analysis of JAGA JAGA PLC, section 1, findings and conclusion. If you didn't put section 1, you can put requirement 1. Is that taken? Requirement 1. Findings and discussions, conclusion and recommendations. Then evaluation of business analysis, structural proposal. Or just say evaluation of business analysis, requirement 2 or section 2. Then findings and discussions. What is the findings and discussion on the business analysis? The first findings and discussion, what is this on? On financial analysis. Are you getting it? Then conclusion and recommendation on what? On the financial analysis and as well as on the business analysis. Then you do your appendix. You do it like this, then you introduce them to the background information. You let them know about your company. They are the examiner. It's like you are giving an auditor to come and audit your company. Your auditor will request for the management report. In that management report, he will also request for the standard of operation. From there, he will understand that, oh, this is what the company is into. Is that taking? I hope you can see my screen now. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, I haven't told them about the background information. My dear, the next thing is leave everything and go to your what is known as financial ratio analysis and trend analysis. How do you go to your financial ratio analysis and trend analysis? You know that you have already been counting. From this background information, leave at least 10 pages. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8. It's okay. And if you like, page 10. After that, now pick your pen, open your page 11. That is the page, the 11th pages that you've counted, which if you total your pages together, that one will be becoming like page 15 or page 16. Then go and do what is known as your financial analysis. Are you there with me? This is your ratio analysis. It's your financial analysis. Remember, I said it in my introduction that you are expected to know at least 3 ratios under each of the categories of the 5 ratios. Profitability ratio. What is there? Gross profit margin, net profit margin, ROCE, ROE, asset turnover. Yes, you're fine. At least under profitability ratio, you can mention like 5 different ratios. You are fine. These ratios is what is compulsory for you in your corporate reporting, in your SFM. There's no way you will do strategic financial management without ratio analysis. Because by the time you are doing your business analysis, you have to use your ratios. And we have been doing ratios right from our what? Financial reporting. Corporate reporting, CR, they will give you financial ratio. You cannot see that it's even a bonus for you. But my dear, majority of us might have forgotten our ratio analysis. Go and pick your ratio analysis and start analyzing. I do tell my students that when you want to do a ratio analysis, you must be able to compare and contrast. What did I call it by compare and contrast? You must be able to talk using absolute and real terms. That is, your evaluation must be in absolute terms and in real terms. What is absolute terms? As you are talking in percentage, you are talking in figure. As you are evaluating in percentage, you are also evaluating in figure. Poor to a student who is telling me, or that you are writing in your report, that the company is doing well in 2016 because the ratio grew from 2% to 5%. As a result of that, is doing well in gross profit margin. And so fucking what? You haven't said anything. That's not an accountant. Accountant should be able to tell me What brings about this ratio? What percentage does this ratio contribute? And what is the effect of this ratio in my financial analysis, in your financial analysis? Okay, you are telling me that the company is doing well in terms of gross profit margin, because the GPM, the gross profit margin computed, has increases from 2% in 2015 to 4% in 2000, has increased by 2%. Let me say from 2%. And you are able to tell me that it has increased by 2% from 200 naira in 2015 to 700 naira in 2017 or in 2016. Fine, you have talked as an accountant. You can even go further by telling me that these increases might have been as a result of the increase in revenue. Because what are the factors to gross profit margin? The factors is what? Revenue. Your sales, your revenue. Revenue is the major determinant when it comes to gross profit. And remember that the higher your gross profit, the higher your sales, obviously the higher the incomes, the higher the revenue. But something should be giving you concern, which is your overheads. If there's a poor overhead management, the profit will reduce. But if it's said if there's a good overhead management, the gross profit will increase. The profit will increase. But my dear, overhead only concerns your net profit, does not concern your gross profit. So when your gross profit pull up, shoot up, when your gross profit shoot out, that is shoot up, it means it's as a result of your what? Increase in sales and reduction in cost of sales. I hope you are getting it. Please, it is not an abuse. Sorry, that's how it talks, because I just want you to get it. So do your ratio analysis. I've computed it. You have the slide. Go through it. If you have any question, please bring the question up. Let's discuss it. But before you come to me with a question, ensure that you have gone through these questions. Read the question from 1 to the end and come with your questions. I've calculated gross profit. As you can see, gross profit margin has been calculated in 2015. I have 35.95. In 2016, I have 38.92%. Net profit, I have 10.95. In 2015, I have 14.48. Your gross profit might shoot up and your net profit will shoot down. Obviously, you know your net profit is your operating margin, which is usually the profit after tax. Okay? Your profit margin in 2015 is 12.94 and 16.72 for 2016. That is the profit before tax. Net profit is the profit after tax. ROCE, return on capital employed. You all know the formula. The return on capital employed in 2015 is 5.20. And that of 2016 is 8.58. Please, always calculate your ratio into decimal points. What is 2 decimal? 2 number after the point. That is 0.00. This is 2 decimal. Is that taking? Like 12.94, 5.00, 2.50. That is what I mean by 2 decimal points. Okay. Your ROCE, shoot up. Your ROE. What is ROE? Return on equity is ROE. ROE is return on equity. Your return on equity is a 7.46 in 2015, 9.73 in 2016. Asset turnover. Turnover is the numbers of times you're able to multiply your assets. 0.61 times and 1.52 times. We are able to multiply our assets over the period. Then liquidity. Under liquidity, you can decide to merge liquidity and efficiency. And you can decide to add them differently. Efficiency is the turnover ratios, the numbers of times that an employee is able to multiply, if it is stock, if it is asset, if it is other thing. Liquidity, you have your current ratio, you have your quick ratio, which is asset test ratio. We still have our current, which one is current asset minus current liability? Current asset minus current liability. Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm saying that doing analysis,
Yes.
we should pick those items. Probably we should check.
Hi. What's wrong with your network?
The reason why we have. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir, your network.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said the network is very poor here. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, sir, you need to climb the mango
tree.
tree.
What you're seeing is this that probably Inca. Okay, probably I will drop it. I will send it. I'll drop it on your listen.
No, you can ask a question.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah. What I'm saying is this, I said what I'm saying is this, that probably in calculating in doing analysis and the likes, that probably the reason why we have increase or decrease in some of the items, probably the current ratio, the asset test and the likes, that we should be able to give reasons why
exactly
we have increase or decrease.
Exactly. And then while you are giving your
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm with you.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I can hear you. Oh, yeah. Don't worry, you will see how we calculate for that. Is that taken? So, outside having done your ratio analysis, you also do trend analysis. And trend analysis is very, very important. Trend analysis is very, very important. How do we do trend analysis? Go to the, let me show us trend analysis initially. Let me show you trend analysis. Initially, I've prepared the trend analysis now. Okay. For the trend analysis, you just have your trend analysis at the headings. Just have your trend analysis. And the formula for your trend analysis, for you not to forget, is new minus old over old. What are you trending? Your trend analysis is the comparison of the items in relation to the figures. I have my items. I have 2016, which is the year. The figure is ₦1,000,000.
I have my 2015. The figure is million naira. If you're given more than 2 years, then the changes that occur, I have my changes or change. After changes, then percentage changes. Trend analysis is the analysis of your key items as given in the financial position. I said key items as given in the financial position. Okay. Let's go back to JAGA JAGA Technology PLC. Let's go to the financial statement. Can you see the financial statement? You can see that we have revenue, we have cost of sales. All these items are what I will list out up to, I can do my earning per share, or let me say up to, yes, everything here, then all your assets. But because of time, you can just take the headings, but it is advisable to take everything. What I usually do is I actually take the old assets, as in current assets, current liability, non-current assets, current liabilities, then total equity, because we do not have that time. Since you do not have that time, just take the one that you can pick. But the one that is essential, that I know that I will dwell more on them. That is what I used to teach my, that's what we use for the purpose of our class. You have your revenue. Do not forget, revenue for 2016 was given as 668.6. For 2015 was given 648.3. You have revenue, you have cost of sales, you have your gross profit. This is trend analysis. So you have your gross profit, you have your selling and distribution, you have your admin expenses, everything that you have here is what we are actually using. Okay, where is it? All right. So after admin expenses, you have your operating profit. Write it in full. Then I have finance charge. Let me stop here. Initially, if you have actually been writing reports, all these things you would have practiced it, it would have mastered you. As I just collecting your paper, you write your introduction. After finishing with your introduction, just go to your appendix straight. Go and do the financial ratio analysis that I showed you earlier. Then you do your trend analysis. Let me stop here so that I can use this one to illustrate for you. Then this one is 105.5.
111.2. You have 111.8, and this one gives us 83.9. This one gives us 17.5. This one gives us 14.6. Finance charge, interest, income, share of assets, share of result what? Profit before tax, then tax, then profit for the year. Profit for the year. Then you have your EPS. It's also part of what we use. EPS have basic, EPS have diluted. I haven't done that. If you have the time, you can do for the rest too. But for me here, I have non-current assets. You can jump, just as I've jumped like this. You can jump just as I've jumped. You have your current assets. You have your current liabilities. Because of time, because you will still have to use it to write report. You have your non-current liability and you have your total equity. Okay, for the interest income is 1.7 here. This one is 3.5. This one is 20.6. This one is 15.5. This one is 116.6. This one is 88.3. This one is 19.8. This one is 17.3. This one is 96.8. This one is 71.0. This one is 9.61, 9.59, 7.06. Yeah, you can do the rest. Are we together? Okay. This is old is for the last year. New is for the new year. The current year is 668.6 minus 648.3 divided by 3. Divided by 648.3. For the first one, for the revenue, don't forget that it is new. Don't forget that it is new minus what? Old, all over what? Old. This will give you for revenue. New is 668.6 minus 648.3 divided by 648.3. If you divide it, you'll be having a change of 20.3 and multiply by 100, the percentage changes will be what? 3.13. If you do it for the other one too, here this one is greater than this, I'm having minus 6.8 and the percentage is minus 1.64. This one is 27.1. This one is 11.63. This one is 1.2. This one is 2.73. This one is minus 2. This one is minus 1.90. This one is 27.9. And this one is 33.2. 25. Let me stop so that I can do the rest. Is that taking? You can do the rest. If you look at this, you will agree with me that revenue increases by 20.3 million naira. This one is the naira, is the million naira. This one is the percentage. Why cost of sales reduces from that of last year? That's a significant. Our gross profit increases. Like that, like that. Haven't done that, but haven't done both the financial ratio analysis and the trend analysis. You will now go to the analysis of what you've actually prepared. Those things that you've done, you now do the analysis. The analysis now includes financial analysis of JAGA JAGA Nigeria, of JAGA JAGA Technology PLC, JAGA JAGA Technology PLC. Okay. The first one is an overview. That overview is what you did for your trend analysis. Overview of JAGA JAGA Technology PLC. The first thing we could identify is growth in revenue. Is that not so? As you can see, so the revenue of the company have shown a substantial increase. That one is Oyibo. It has also shown a significant increase, has shown a great increase. Anyhow you like. Over the reported 2 years, because we're only given the 2 years, last year and this year. Okay. From the trend analysis on Appendix A, I decided to number my Appendix A. The revenue increased by about 3.13%. Go back to the revenue. Why shall we lie? The revenue increases by 3.13. Is that taking? So the revenue increased by about 3.13% in 2016 from 648.3 million. You can see from 648.3 million in 2015 to 668.6 million in 2016. And what does that mean? It means the customer shows high level of confidence that the customer have in JAGA JAGA Technology PLC over the product that they produce. Can you see? From the computation of ratios in Appendix 2, I go to my appendix. The asset turnover of the companies confirms that JJT PLC is very efficient in the utilization of their assets to generate revenue. Is that not? That is what I have actually used. Those are the elements of revenue. That's why I put it under the word profitability, asset turnover, from 0.61 to 1.53. Isn't that great? Yes, it is. So that is how to analyze. You're analyzing trending and you're also using part of the ratio analysis in it. Okay. This shows high level of confidence that the customer have, that the customer of JAGA JAGA PLC have over the product. From the computation of the ratio in Appendix 2, the asset turnover of the company confirmed that
JAGA PLC is very efficient in the utilization of their assets to generate revenue. You now go, does the asset turnover to increases? Yes. The asset turnover ratio increased by about what? 91% in 2016 to by about 91% in 2016 from 0.61 times in 2015 to 1.52 times in 2016. Are you getting it? Though the reduction in non-current assets due to the disposal may be partly accountable to the increase in asset turnover. Can you see? I said, though the reduction in non-current assets due to the, you now go to non-current assets. That is if you've done the trend analysis. See, non-current assets for this year is 620.2. For last year is 1,229.3. It reduces drastically by 609.1 and it's as a percentage of 49.55 reduction. 49.55 reduction. Okay. So that is it. That is it. That is what you need to know. That's why I said you must be able to tell us what causes that changes. Though the reduction in non-current assets might be due to the disposal, may be partly accountable to the increase in asset turnover. What we are saying is, we don't know, because if asset decreases over the period, it means there has been a disposal of assets. Okay? In asset turnover in 2016. But a detailed analysis shows that revenue may have been increased. I seen it. Revenue may have increased to what? Rebates to customer or reduction in selling price. I said before writing this thing, you have to state what causes such increment or decrement. You not think like a chartered accountant. Wait, what can make people to be buying our product? Maybe our price is cheap. Maybe we subsidize it. Maybe we have qualified staff. Maybe our product is nice. All those things. The same way we are thinking here, that the increase in that revenue may be as a result of rebate to customer. When we say rebate for customer, we mean consideration for customer. When you cut cost for customer, we call it rebate, or reduction in selling price, or you reduce the selling price. Is that taken? As a rebate to customer and reduction in selling price will result to increase in revenue at the expense of what? Profitability. Revenue witness increases over the period, while operating profit shows a reduction reduction over the what? Period. You are done with trend analysis. If you like, you can continue, but this is the minimum. That's why I say write it as what? Overview. The next one
that should give you concerns is JAGA JAGA Technology PLC financial ratio and trend analysis. Then I add them as profitability, performance, gearing, liquidity, then loss of goodwill. So for the profitability performance, how does the company perform in terms of profitability? Is that taken? That is what you will write under profitability performance. Under gearing, you will do the same. Under liquidity, you will do the same. Loss of goodwill, having all those things in plan. Why is there loss of goodwill? Okay, and then you will look at the effect of such goodwill in that organization. So, coming to that, the next one is analysis of JJT value chain. They ask us from the case to use a value chain analysis. Okay? Are we together? Are we still together? Analysis of JJT value chain. First, before you discuss a model, there's a need for you to familiarize with that model and also familiarize the examiner with such model, and that is the business analysis. Okay? Right, as analysis of JJT value chain. Manufacturing company create value by acquiring raw material and using them to produce something useful. The value that is created and captured by the company is the profit. The more value an organization creates, the more profitable it is likely to be. And when you provide more values, when you provide more values to your customer, you build a more competitive advantage. That's just introduction of Porter's value chain model. You progress. Porter's value chain model relates to a set of activities that an organization carries out to create value for its customer. And these activities are broken down into two. That is primary activities, which is known as inbound logistic operation, outbound logistic marketing, and sales and services. And secondary activities, which includes the procurement, human resources, information technology, and firm infrastructure. Okay, so now we will look at the model one after the other. The first one is inbound logistic. That's one of the primary. The inbound logistic are all processes related to receiving, storing, and distributing input internally. So you go about it and how it affects the organization. Major components like panels for our smartphone should have been made in-house since we have competent and well-respected engineers. Also, our decision to source this component majorly through a related company might have led to standard and quality checks being compromised. I hope you are following. Adura Limited, owned by the stepson of our Chief Executive Officer, supplied 63% of our smartphone screen. Though this may not be traced directly to be the cause of fire, but it says much about our inbound logistics. Okay. Having said that, our recent expansion program, which has necessitated outsourcing processes during manufacturing of our product, may have also have impact on the product. It does not look strategically correct for a company like us to outsource its core competence area. And having discussed that, you go to the next one, production. I'm not defining those value chain models parameters. I'm only relating them to the case. The second one is production. For production, I haven't discussed about production. You tell them we are not performing badly in production process as the product goes through a fairly complicated processes. Prototypes are developed at these laboratories, tested, and agreed final. An agreed final design person. After that, talk on outbound logistics. Then you discussed about everything as related to that model. Having discussed about a primary, we also discuss about the secondary overview, about the secondary activities of the value chain model. Okay. Having discussed about that, the next one is key risk areas, then conclusion and recommendation. I hope that is taken. After that, we discussed the key risk area as based on the available information in Exhibit 1. Our company is presently battling with various risks, among which are these three prominent risks. You now measure the risks that the company is facing. The first one is product risk, reputation risks, and compliance risks. Is that taken? You now explain what those risks were meant for. Do you get that? The first one is product risks. Is the risk to the quality of the product because of the failure of the product to satisfy the need or fulfill some reasonable expectation of the customer from our users or stakeholders. You only give meaning to the product risk. Now, link it to the case. It is also the possibility that the new product may not be accepted in the market. Our newly released and latest and greatest smartphone, JPhone 7, are facing rejection by the customer and also banned by certain airlines. That is the product risk. Though this is not to be the major disappointment to the company, as you perceive this product to be the phone that will confirm us the leading smartphone company in sub-Saharan Africa. You are extracting your information from the report. The second one, just use bulletin as a bulleted. Reputational risk. You know the reputation risk that they are facing, which is the negative advert. We were told that a blogger one negative blog post or product review that was done online can actually cause a change in the direction of the company. So you have to also tell them that, as stated in my solution. The third risk is your compliance risk, which is the risk of complying with the statutory regulatory as relating to the storage, the operation, and the rest. That's why I said you first define a bit, give a meaning to it. There are risks associated with the company exposure to legal penalties, financial forfeitures, and material loss when to act in accordance with industry laws and regulation. Okay? It was even overheard that an unnamed man has approached his lawyer to enter into litigation with the company after his car was got burned due to the explosion of JPhone 7. It's a compliance risk. The next point is risk management techniques. Look at the solution that I've sent to you. Is that taken? How do we now manage the risk? Remember that I said identification of risks, suggestion, conclusion, and recommendation. You've concluded, now recommend. The recommendation should be: risk management is the process of reducing the possibility of adverse consequence, either by reducing the likelihood of an event or its impact, or taking advantage of the upside risk. It is a method of controlling risk. And our management should use TARA model. Maybe you know the model to use for hedging risk. To hedge risks, you have major methods, but the common one that you use, this one is under your corporate governance and ethics. The common one is TARA principles: risk transfer, risk sharing, TARA, risk transfer, risk avoidance, risk reduction, and what is the last thing? Risk acceptance. Is that taking? That is the basic one. The first one, which is risk transfer, so that risk can be transferred only or part of it to the third party in terms of the insurance company, so that if an adverse event occurs, the third party will suffer most of the loss, such as the insurance company. So the management of JJT should buy insurance policy to mitigate the adverse event of the destruction caused by JPhone 7. Is that taken? Risk sharing. The organization might transfer its exposure to strategic by sharing the risks with joint venture partner or a franchisee. Talk on risk avoidance, talk on risk reductions, then risk avoidance. That the company should at least evaluate the minimum risk that can accept from those lost. Then you offer advices, which the second one says, the advices on the financial reporting implication. As we rely heavily on Adura Limited, owned by the stepson of our new Chief Executive Officer for the supply of the smartphone screen, adequate disclosure should be made in accordance with IAS 24, related party disclosure. That's how I say case study. The case study is the most simplest things to write, to pass, but it's as if you're writing the whole subject. Is that taking? So the disclosure should cover the following: the nature, the terms and conditions, whether all those items are secured or unsecured, whether that contract is secured or unsecured, the nature of settlement, provision for doubtful debt against any balances outstanding, and provision for doubtful debts recognized as expenses. Another thing is there's a need for us to write up 172,075,000, which is the cost of the reported JPhone that the customer has already submitted, and showing our profit and loss and other comprehensive income in that financial year. though this will impact negatively on the bottom line of the company, but it is considered to be unprofessional and lack of integrity to ignore such losses. Your customers has complained, they have come to you, you just have to accept your own risks as well. Now, in conclusion, all the financial reporting implications should be thoroughly scrutinized and thereafter adopted to redeem the good image of the company. This report, together with the recommendation and conclusion thereon, are purely based on the information made available pursuant to the list of exhibits attached to the case. And however, final decision rests with the owner and management of our great company. Thank you for your opportunity to present this report. You will now sign. Just sign like this. Tijani Obu. You can put your real signature. You have to sign. Tijani Obu, comma, Assistant Finance. You now sign. After sign, Tijani Obu, comma, Assistant Finance Officer. You now put the names of the company under Assistant Finance Officer. JAGA JAGA Technologies. JAGA JAGA Technologies PLC. Is that taken? Then also here, I have the analysis of the product, the numbers of the units, the production, the number that was sold, and the amount. So that is how I was able to arrive at my 17 million that I asked the organization to accept as their loss. Total cost of the phone returned by a customer, I wanted to 16,385,500. Total cost returned by the retail shop, 9 million. Cost of charging all the storage, 30 million. Altogether, the numbers of units that I've sold and the production by unit, the total cost is 172,500. This is the 172,500 that I accept the organization to write off as their loss. That is my recommendation. After that is all about a report writing. Do yourself some helps by going through it. My appendix 2 or 3, identify my risks, reputational risks, risks of goodwill, market risks, risks of customer, financial risks, lawsuit, loss of revenue, cost of rework, safety risks, lawsuit from injured customer, lawsuit as a result of customers' loss of properties. Then you have to draw your value chain analysis. This is also part of all these appendixes. You can call it appendix 4. You have to draw it. After doing that, the examiner will time you as to know what you are doing. Thank you. Any question? Please, with this, I'm challenging you to rewrite the case as if you are writing it. Write everything in your notes so that you can master it. By writing it, I challenge you to study, to write report on the last year. No, don't write the report. Just go and read the report on the last case. The last case is November, what? Is it November? This is me, yes. November 2021, 2020 diet examination. November 2020 diet examination. Go and read the case. That is your assignment. But before you do this, quickly go through these cases as we've done, and then rewrite it on your own in your note. If you have a big note, take your Fuska sheet and write it, and number your pages as I've advised. Number your pages as advised, up to the last pages. In fact, after collecting your paper, just be numbering it first. At the footnote, be numbering it. Page 1, page 2. You have to be writing the page. Don't just write 1, 2, 3. Don't just write 1, 2, 3. Write page 2, page 3, page 4. At the end of everything, don't forget that I leave out the executive summary. Please pick up your executive summary and write. Is that taking? You can just use everything to summarize the executive summary. You will agree with me that we have exhausted this format as given. But don't forget that the format was further broken down into the cover page, into the introduction, the cover page, the requirement 1 and requirement 2. Is that taking? All the best. Ask your questions. You can unmute yourself and ask questions.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. It's like the network here is very complicated. The video
Okay.
lecture on time, so that again, you made mention of the what's it called, the November 25th or so.
Yes, which is the last year, last diet.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Last diet. Hello. Sir, your network. Your network. Oh. Your network.
Send it to the chat.
Okay, sir. He's trying to talk, wanted to talk, but his network is very, very poor.
You should send it to the chat. Okay, Mr. Ele, do you have any question? You can unmute yourself if you have any question. I'm not sure. Okay, so